Hey everyone, this is Laura Gdenik with Laura Gdenik Astrology, and I'm here to give you the astro weather for May 4th through the 10th, 2020. And I'm going to be using Zoom to record this and to share my screen. So just give me 1 second. That's what I want to share. Okay, and then now I can actually draw and show you guys the chart, which is super exciting. So starting on Monday, May 4th, we have Mercury. Let me see if I can, here we go. This is Mercury right here. We have Mercury conjoining the sun. Now we're still very much so feeling the effects of Venus over here. Venus making a square to Neptune. This was pretty much felt all weekend, and then we're actually going to be feeling this for most of the month, while because Venus is about to station retrograde, move backwards, but it takes a while for a planet to turn around and start moving retrograde. And so Venus is stationing right now, meaning she's starting to slow down and prepare to stop to turn around. And so we're still feeling the effects of Venus square Neptune. Squares are filled with some tension and strife and just kind of, there's some challenges involved. And Venus is a planet of relationships, of love, of beauty, of finances, you know, not only romantic relationships, but also friendships. And Venus in Gemini wants to play, wants to socialize, wants to be inventive in art, wants to create things that are beautiful and witty, you know, bringing in the Gemini here. And Neptune wants to spiritualize, wants to mythologize, wants to idealize. And with squares, the challenge here is you know, there can be an element of disillusionment or disappointment or martyrdom. So this could be, you know, in a relationship, feeling disappointed. Maybe you had some social plans, maybe like more virtual social type of plans, and they fell through and you felt disappointed. Or perhaps, you know, Neptune also rules over drugs and you know, altered states. And so it could have been a weekend where you got a little too enamored. Maybe you had a few too glasses of wine. Few too many glasses of wine. This could be, yeah, disappointments in relationships and social plans, or even social desires. You know, you could have had some sort of artistic plan set, but then things aren't going as smoothly as you would have liked, or things are delayed. So this is going to be a theme that we'll be with for the next several days and even weeks. And so there's an element of confusion with Venus and Neptune, with this Venus-Neptune square, and an element of things being unclear. There's not very much clarity here. But with Mercury conjoining the sun, Mercury is the planet of our thoughts, of our minds, of how we communicate, of how we think. And the sun, if we think back to ancient times, the sun was always associated with the king, and Mercury being the messenger. This is kind of like the messenger, or the king, you know, whispering directly into the messenger's ears. And the sun represents in general our conscious awareness and you know, it's our ego, you know, in our own charts. It's our ego, it's the essence of who we are, but there's also a sense of divine consciousness, so to speak. And so this is a moment of clarity, of insight amidst the fog and amidst the illusions or disappointment. So there's going to be, or you know, not necessarily an external event, this could totally be internal, but a moment of clarity. And a great time to, you know, go within, maybe do some meditation. If you're trying to seek clarity on a specific issue, or if you have a question, this is a great day to try to find answers within yourself by, you know, if we think of these archetypes as existing within us, you know, being your own king and being your own messenger and having these two parts of yourselves, you know, or I guess the sun part of yourself, giving the Mercury part of yourself the answer. So, and this just means also, this means that Mercury is halfway through his cycle until he goes retrograde later on in Cancer. So, yeah, so this is, you know, a moment of clarity, the aha moment, awareness in the midst of the fog, etc. Now let me see if I can erase that, clear all drawings. Yep, okay. Now, on Thursday, let me move this along. On May 7th, on Thursday, we will have a full moon in Scorpio. Okay, so full moon just means that the moon over here is opposite the sun in Taurus over here. So full moons are times of culminations, they're times of peaks. You know, oftentimes emotions are really high at this point. There's kind of a sense of a lot of energy. You know, I used to work at a school, and on the full moons, the kids would go absolutely crazy and there was a lot of chaos, and it can be a bit overwhelming. And this could definitely be a bit of a more uncomfortable full moon because, you know, the sun is over there in like comfortable, sensual, pleasure-seeking Taurus. And I'm not saying that all Tauruses are like that, but there's certainly an element of security and comfort, and you know, enjoying the pleasures that life has to offer in the physical world. And so with the moon in Scorpio, the opposite sign of Taurus, Scorpio is all about the depths, about what's really there, about you know, what's true, what's honest. And you know, it's uncomfortable because in Scorpio season, we're heading into the darkness. At least in the Northern Hemisphere, we're heading into winter. It's going into the darkest time of the year, whereas in Taurus, we're heading into the lightest part of the season, or of the year, and things are getting to be more lighthearted, and you know, there's abundance for everyone in Taurus season. Things are in full bloom. You know, all the produce is growing. There's enough for everyone. And Scorpio, it's like the harvest is over, and we have to kind of scrape and scrap for what's left. And there's a darkness quality to Scorpio. Scorpio likes to figure things out, get to the bottom of things, even if it's really painful or scary or you know, not pretty, if it's ugly. And so this could be uncomfortable, going into the depths, into the darkness at a time when we're in Taurus season. Taurus being once again about beauty, comfort, sensualness, security. This could be a time when some of our darkest emotions are released, especially, you know, around this whole coronavirus situation that we're all in. So look out for that. Definitely a time to use productively. Well, I'm a Capricorn moon. Use it productively, but seriously, if this is helpful for us to know how to work with the energy. And so this could be a good time for going in more depth and journaling, releasing things, and knowing why, right? On the same day, we have Mercury in Taurus, right around here, making a nice little sextile to Neptune in Pisces. You can see they're both at 20 degrees Pisces and 20 degrees of Taurus. Sextiles are aspects that are 60 degrees between two planets, and usually they're full of ease, and you know, they're pretty pleasurable, they're maybe fun. Sextiles bring out more of the positive qualities of both planets, and Mercury representing the mind and how we communicate, how we think, how we interact with others, how we exchange ideas, And Neptune being kind of the dream realm, what we mythologize, what we spiritualize, what we idealize, what we hope for. The mind on this day could be in the dream realm. You know, imagination is high on this day. Could be a time of intense dreams, especially with that full moon on the same day. With the Mercury in Taurus, your mind is certainly more focused on security and pleasantries and perhaps what is or what would be ideal. And maybe like on how to obtain these in a very physical sense, you know, like making a plan to do something that you would consider ideal. And the plan piece, I would think, is Mercury in Taurus because it's very tangible and also mental. This is a great time for meditation. You know, you might have some insight that may come through. Neptune is it's a planet of otherworldliness. This is a great time for creativity involving the mind or involving your communications with others. It's not a great time for detailed work or anything that requires a critical mind or a critical eye, because you know, Mercury represents our minds and does naturally want to do detailed work, but Neptune is like the opposite of detailed work. It's more like, you know, let's dream big and everything merges together and things are foggy and blurry and, you know, not very clear or organized or detailed. This could awaken the mystical and imaginative sides of ourselves. And if not ourselves, then maybe experiencing that archetype through other people in our lives. So, you know, it's not a huge deal. Sextiles are kind of a more minor aspect, but it's still a pleasant experience, I think, with the sextile. On Saturday, May 9th, let's see, okay, I'm going to clear all drawings, exit out of that. Okay, Saturday, we have Mercury again. We have a lot of Mercury activity. So Mercury is right here. Mercury's at 24 degrees of Taurus, and he's making a trine to Pluto over here at 24 degrees of Capricorn. So trines are 120 degrees between two planets. And just for some background information, every sign is 30 degrees. And so, you know, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signs between Mercury and Pluto. So basic math here. So trines are similar to sextiles, but bigger. They bring out opportunity and ease and flow and support. And, you know, they're times, sometimes we miss the opportunities with trines because there's no challenge there to present the thing that we want, or there's no like conflict that's getting in our way of what we want, and it's such an easy aspect. Sometimes we miss it, but that's why we have astrology here, so we don't miss the opportunity. So trines are easy flowing, etc. Mercury is our mind, how we think and communicate, and in Taurus it's more of a fixed quality. There's a stubbornness here, an endurability in thoughts or ideas, a simple-mindedness, and I don't mean that in terms of like stupid, but simple-mindedness in terms of thinking about the simple things in life and the practical, you know, like daily needs and you know, practical plans that involve material things, like earthly things, like, you know, thoughts around money and security. You know, this isn't necessarily, Mercury and Taurus isn't necessarily like a very deep and probing, like wanting to get behind the matter type of placement. But with the trine to Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto is that kind of deep, probing, intense energy. It's very similar to Scorpio. It's the modern ruler of Scorpio. So there's the same quality of wanting to get beneath the surface, wanting to figure it out, wanting to be honest, wanting to you know, say it how it is. Pluto's also associated with power and wealth. It's associated with volcanoes, kind of the heat beneath the surface, what's lurking. It's associated with rot, with things that are dead, with death and dying. It's the underworld. I mean, Pluto is the lord of the underworld and everything that belongs there. So, you know, with this aspect, this could be a great time. This is a time of having a passionate and probing mind, you know, having some deep insight into things that are hidden or beneath the surface. There could be some deep insight that you have around your needs for security, Mercury being in Taurus, security, deep insight into compulsions, perchance, that compulsions that you may have to build walls in whatever ways that you might be doing that. I mean, we all do that in some way or another, but this could be deep insight into how am I, you know, building up a barrier, and how is that both protecting me and possibly harming me. You know, this could be a time of intense or a relentlessness for deep inquiry into something. So if you are studying something deeply fascinating or a mystery, you know, this could be a day where you get obsessed with figuring it out, or with getting to the bottom of things, with investigating and researching something. Maybe even like, you know, Pluto being in Capricorn, Capricorn oftentimes representing government, just very loosely, like the systems and structures we have in our lives. This could totally be a day of like researching what's it called, like stories that aren't true, right? Or stories that people believe about the government that might be true, might not be true, we don't really know. I can't remember the word for that, but I think you might know what I mean. So yeah, relentlessness for deep inquiry into something that fascinates you. Great for studying whatever it is that you're deeply passionate about. Urges to speak the forbidden or what's taboo is also a theme for this aspect. And also be careful of becoming easily obsessed or easily fixated on something. And this could be, you know, it could be used for positive means. Like I said before, studying something, that maybe getting something done that requires a lot of mental concentration. This is a great time for that. Not a great time if you like have other things you need to be spending your mental energy doing, but then this aspect, or, you know, that kind of intensity or obsession goes towards something else. It kind of depends on, it's up to you. This is where we have free will, right? This is, you can choose to use this in whatever way you want. So, okay, so that's that. Okay, so now on Sunday, let me get back my little pen. So Sunday we have Mercury again. This is really a big Mercury week, clearly. And, you know, of course, Mercury is going to be making a trine now to Jupiter, because if you can see, Jupiter and Pluto are right next to each other. So they'll be making a trine, right? And Jupiter is a planet all about broadness of ideas. It's a planet about philosophy, beliefs, religion, big picture thinking, generosity. It's a planet of royalty. You know, Jupiter rules over things like kings and gods and people who have a lot of power, but kind of in a more of a mystifying or religious sense. And with Mercury being the planet of our minds and how we think, this would definitely be having broad and expansive ideas on this day. You know, Jupiter representing also long distance travel and journeys. This could be a day where you're thinking about, or, you know, even planning, getting into the detailed planning of going on a trip. I know we can't really go anywhere right now. I mean, maybe we can, but this could be like planning a trip once all of this stuff is over, like coronavirus, I mean, it's not going to be really over this year, but there's going to be like a couple months where things are probably going to be go back to a semblance of normalcy. So this could be planning a trip, communication, talk, plans made for travel or about travel with someone. Optimism, it could be a theme for this day. Jupiter is a very optimistic and lucky influence. So optimism and therefore good luck in things involving trade or the buying or selling of things. Mercury represents the marketplace where people barter and trade. I mean, he's associated with the Greek god Hermes, which you know, was a master at that, was really dexterous and intelligent and mischievous and good at wheeling and dealing, so to speak. So this would be a great, if you need to like give a speech or, you know, convince someone of your point of view or win someone over, this is a great day to do it, because you have that confidence of Jupiter and that enthusiasm, and as well as that conviction. Jupiter is about conviction. Be careful of overpromising. Jupiter tends to think that it can do more than it actually can. This could be, like I said, desire for travel, but also mental travel. You know, this could be a day of diving into philosophy or religion or spirituality. And, you know, following that trine to Pluto, it could be really deep investigative inquiry into religion, the occult. That'd be more of a Pluto thing, but religion, spirituality, mysteries of sorts. You know, this could be a day where you have a lot of confidence and there's a huge sense of knowing within you. With Pluto there, because Mercury will have made the same aspect to Pluto the day before, and really the two planets should kind of go hand in hand because they're so close together in Capricorn. But Pluto intensifies this. It combines persuasive and commanding intellect with deep and broad ranging mind. So kind of spirituality and shadow work going hand in hand here. Now, on the same day, the sun is, you know, as we can see, is behind Mercury. And so the sun will be making the same aspects that Mercury just made. So on this day, the sun is making that sextile to Neptune, 20 degrees, 20 degrees. And so this is kind of mirroring this similar themes and qualities of Mercury sextiling Neptune, minus the, like, Mercury is really focused on the mind and thoughts and communication and speech, whereas the sun is more about our awareness and our sense of well-being and our sense of self, and it's what we identify with. So this could be an impulse to identify with you know, the spiritual realm, the dream realm, with creativity, with imagination. This could be, on this day, there could be an impulse towards spiritualizing the material. You know, the sun is in Taurus, a very material, physical sign. Also mythologizing the land. I mean, this could be a time of, like, you know, really longing for, Neptune is a planet of longing for a deeper connection with nature, with gardening, with agriculture, a connection to maybe your food, maybe finding a spiritual connection to the food that we eat. Taurus being agriculture, like I said. This would be a great day to do a meditation once again, but more of a meditation involving the senses rather than just the mind. This would be like the 5 senses meditation. I don't know if anyone's ever done that, but it's like you, it's nice when someone leads it, but if you don't have anyone to lead it, you can just, you know, set an alarm for 5 minutes and close your eyes and do like 1 minute on focusing on your breath, and maybe do a body scan. This would be a great day to do meditation with a body scan, and then like focusing on your senses. You know, what do you hear? What are you hearing right now? What are you smelling? Do you have any taste in your mouth? What are you seeing? So this is a great day to do something like that. In general, this will be a peaceful, pretty serene day. I think this will be a really good day because of that Jupiter trine Mercury. So this is a highly spiritualizing day. It could be a day full of dreaminess and impulse towards higher purpose and cosmic consciousness. There could also be a little bit of confusion because there's that confusion element. And I should have said this before with Mercury sextile Neptune. This could be kind of a theme this week in general, but confusion regarding money. Taurus is about money and possessions and value. Confusion about money and how our economy is going to continue forth and function in the upcoming months, and also confusion regarding our food system. I mean, we have Uranus traveling through Taurus right now. This is Uranus, and Uranus is a planet of revolution and revelation and the great awakener and innovation. And so, but it shakes things up. Uranus shakes things up and creates dramatic changes when wherever it's traveling, and it's traveling through Taurus. So the way our economy functions, the way we make money, the way we produce food, it's kind of like there's a radicalness coming, or there's a shakeup with those topics and those themes, which we've already been seeing, really. Yeah. So, oh, and I guess I should say we've already been seeing specifically this week with like Tyson mentioning that they've shut down a bunch of their factories. And that it'll affect the meat supply in the US, which I mean, I think I'm totally fine with. I'm a lifelong vegetarian. I think it's probably actually better if our food industry is interrupted, especially the meat industry. I think it's a really terrible industry. So it's good, I think, that that's being stopped or halted or shaken up. But anyway, so yeah, those are kind of themes for the Sun and Taurus making the sextile to Neptune. And then finally, on this day, we have Saturn right here stationing retrograde. So see this S, this means stationing, meaning Saturn is slowing down and has totally stopped, and will start turning around and heading back into Capricorn. And so we're not done with Saturn in Capricorn. The Saturn first entered Capricorn back in 2017, and Saturn will remain in Capricorn through December of 2020. And so Saturn's going to be traveling back over the same degrees that it went over the past couple months. So similar themes will be brought up, and I'm not going to get too much into this because that's like a really long conversation. Maybe I will on another day, doing another whole video on it, but just noting that Saturn is going to turn backwards and leave Aquarius. I think it's in July. So, you know, there's going to be a shift of that energy as well. So I hope that you all enjoyed this new way of me presenting the astrology for the week. I hope this was more like, maybe this helped in understanding how the planets are moving. Please let me know. Feel free to give me feedback, or even I would love to hear how the week goes for you, if any of this made sense to you. And, you know, rewatching the video throughout the week would be really helpful too, so you can kind of know what's happening on each day, right? So yeah, that's it for now. And I also forgot to mention, first of all, I'm doing a class this upcoming Thursday on the full moon. About the sun, the moon, and the rising. So pretty basic, but kind of a more of a deeper dive into those two planets and the rising sign. And it'll be interactive. So if you bring your chart, information. You have to email it to me, but there's information for this on my Facebook page, Laura Gadenik, or it's called Laura's Astrology, or I think you might actually find it by searching Laura Reads Stars. You can find information for that class there and how to pay and how to attend. It's only $12 and it's going to last like an hour to an hour and a half. And then I'm also going to be doing a gift-based weekly event called Astronomous, gaining insight into anonymous questions using the wisdom of astrology. And that'll be on a weekly basis. I'm not sure quite yet, like if it's going to be, you know, every Saturday or what, or, you know, I might change it up a bit, but that's gift-based, meaning you can, if you don't have any money, like you don't have to pay, you can attend for free, or you can give whatever you want. And essentially it's, so you can submit a question to me and I'll do my best to answer it using astrology. So you can also find that on my website. So I hope everyone has a great week, and I will be back next week for some more astrology. All right, have a great week.